Greetings, fellow cosmic explorers. Welcome to another profound journey into the depths of the universe and the eternal questions that have captivated humanity since the dawn of consciousness. Today, we embark on a contemplative exploration of one of the most perplexing and emotionally charged philosophical conundrums, the problem of evil. As we navigate the vast expanse of the cosmos, we are confronted with the awe-inspiring beauty and complexity of existence. Yet, amidst this grandeur, we cannot ignore the undeniable presence of suffering, pain, and evil that permeates our world. It is this apparent paradox, the coexistence of a benevolent, all-powerful deity with the reality of evil and suffering, that lies at the heart of the problem of evil. In this episode, we shall delve into the intricate philosophical and theological arguments surrounding this enigmatic problem, examining the various perspectives and attempts to reconcile the existence of an omnipotent, omnibenevolent God with the undeniable presence of evil in our world. So, let us begin our contemplative voyage by first defining and understanding the very essence of the problem of evil. Is God willing to prevent evil, but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? This profound quote, often attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus, encapsulates the very essence of the problem of evil, a conundrum that has perplexed philosophers, theologians, and thinkers throughout the ages. In this episode, we shall embark on a journey to unravel the complexities of the problem of evil, exploring its philosophical and theological underpinnings, the various formulations of the problem, and the diverse attempts to reconcile the existence of evil with the concept of an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good God. Our goal is not to provide definitive answers, but rather to foster a deeper understanding of the nuances and intricacies that surround this age-old conundrum. By examining the logical and evidential problems of evil, delving into the various Theodicies proposed by philosophers and theologians, and considering alternative perspectives, we aim to ignite a sense of wonder and curiosity, encouraging us to contemplate the profundity of this question and its implications for our understanding of the divine and the nature of existence. Defining the problem of evil. At its core, the problem of evil is the apparent contradiction between the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God, and the undeniable presence of evil and suffering in the world. This problem is often divided into two categories: moral evil and natural evil. Moral evil refers to the deliberate infliction of harm or suffering caused by the actions of sentient beings, such as murder, cruelty, or oppression. These acts of moral depravity seem to contradict the notion of a perfectly good and benevolent deity. Natural evil, on the other hand, encompasses the suffering and destruction caused by natural phenomena, such as earthquakes, tsunamis, disease, and other natural disasters. The sheer scale of such events, and the immense suffering they inflict upon innocent beings, challenges the idea of a loving and all-powerful God. The problem of evil has been a subject of philosophical and theological discourse for centuries. Ancient Greek philosophers like Epicurus raised questions about the compatibility of an all-powerful, all-good God with the existence of evil. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, the Book of Job grappled with the question of why the righteous suffer, wrestling with the nature of divine justice and the presence of evil in the world. Throughout the ages, thinkers from various religious and philosophical traditions have grappled with this perplexing conundrum, offering diverse perspectives and attempts to reconcile the apparent contradiction between the divine and the reality of evil. At the heart of the problem of evil lie two fundamental questions. How can an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good God allow evil and suffering to exist in the world? And, if such a God exists, how can the presence of evil be justified or explained? These questions strike at the core of our understanding of the divine, challenging our conceptions of divine omnipotence, omniscience, and omnibenevolence, and forcing us to confront the harsh realities of pain, suffering, and moral depravity that pervade our existence. As we delve deeper into the philosophical and theological frameworks surrounding the problem of evil, we shall encounter various formulations of the problem, each presenting its own unique challenges and perspectives. Logical problem of evil. One of the most formidable formulations of the problem of evil is the logical problem, articulated by philosophers like Epicurus and J.L. Mackie. This argument posits that the existence of evil is logically incompatible with the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God. The logical problem of evil asserts that the following statements cannot all be true. 1. God is omnipotent, all-powerful. 2. God is omniscient, all-knowing. 3. God is omnibenevolent, all-good. 4. Evil exists. If one holds that all three of God's attributes, omnipotence, omniscience, and omnibenevolence, are true, then the existence of evil seems to be a logical contradiction. The logical problem of evil can be formulated in the following manner. 1. An omnipotent God can prevent evil from existing. 2. An omniscient God knows about all instances of evil. 3. An omnibenevolent God would want to prevent evil from existing. 4. Yet evil exists. This apparent contradiction between the existence of evil and the three divine attributes of omnipotence, omniscience, and omnibenevolence poses a formidable logical challenge to the traditional concept of God. In response to the logical problem of evil, various philosophers and theologians have proposed different strategies to resolve the apparent contradiction. Some have argued that the concept of omnipotence should be redefined or limited, suggesting that God's power may be constrained by logical necessity or the free will of sentient beings. Others have questioned the assumption that an omnibenevolent God would necessarily want to prevent all instances of evil, positing that evil may serve a greater purpose or contribute to a higher good that justifies its existence. While the logical problem of evil presents a formidable challenge, it has also prompted deep philosophical and theological exploration, forcing us to re-examine our understanding of the divine attributes and the nature of evil itself. Evidential problem of evil. While the logical problem of evil focuses on the apparent logical contradiction between the existence of God and the existence of evil, the evidential problem of evil takes a different approach. This formulation argues that the presence of gratuitous or seemingly pointless evil in the world makes the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God improbable or unlikely. The evidential problem of evil contends that the sheer magnitude and intensity of suffering, coupled with the apparent lack of justification or greater purpose behind many instances of evil, provides strong evidence against the existence of a perfectly good and all-powerful God. The evidential problem of evil can be summarized as follows. 1. If an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God exists, then there would be no gratuitous or seemingly pointless evil in the world. 2. However, there is a vast amount of gratuitous and seemingly pointless evil in the world, e.g. natural disasters, diseases, cruelty, etc. 3. Therefore, it is highly improbable or unlikely that an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God exists. This argument draws its strength from the sheer scale and intensity of suffering witnessed throughout history and across the world. Proponents of the evidential problem of evil point to examples of seemingly pointless suffering, such as the agonizing deaths of innocent children from diseases or natural disasters, as evidence that challenges the existence of a perfectly good and all-powerful God. In response to the evidential problem of evil, various Theodicies, attempts to justify or explain the existence of evil, have been proposed. Some argue that our limited human perspective prevents us from fully comprehending the greater purposes or reasons behind seemingly gratuitous evils. Others contend that evil is a necessary consequence of the free will granted to sentient beings, or that suffering serves a vital role in the spiritual growth and character development of individuals and societies. While the evidential problem of evil presents a formidable challenge, it has also prompted deeper contemplation of the nature of suffering, the limits of human understanding, and the potential for hidden purposes or greater goods that may justify the existence of evil. Theodicies. In the face of the formidable challenges posed by the logical and evidential problems of evil, various Theodicies, philosophical and theological attempts to justify or explain the existence of evil, have been proposed. These Theodicies aim to reconcile the apparent contradiction between the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God and the undeniable presence of evil in the world. Free will defense. One of the most prominent Theodicies is the free will defense, articulated by philosophers like Alvin Plantinga. This defense argues that the existence of evil is a necessary consequence of God granting free will to sentient beings. According to the free will defense, A world with free creatures capable of making moral choices is more valuable than a world without such freedom. However, the ability to make genuine moral choices also entails the possibility of choosing evil actions, which can lead to suffering and moral depravity. Proponents of this defense contend that an all-powerful God could have created a world without evil, but such a world would lack the genuine free will and moral agency that make human existence truly meaningful. Thus, the existence of evil is a necessary consequence of the greater good of free will. Soul-making Theodicy. Another influential theodicy is the soul-making theodicy, proposed by philosopher John Hick. This theodicy posits that the primary purpose of human existence is not mere pleasure or happiness, but rather the development and perfection of the soul. According to Hick, suffering and evil serve as catalysts for spiritual growth, character development, and the cultivation of virtues such as compassion, courage, and perseverance. In this view, the presence of evil and suffering is necessary for the soul-making process, as it challenges individuals to confront adversity, make moral choices, and ultimately achieve a higher level of spiritual maturity. The soul-making theodicy argues that the temporary suffering endured in this life is justified by the greater good of spiritual growth and the attainment of a deeper level of existence and understanding. Greater good theodicy. The greater good theodicy, championed by philosophers like Richard Swinburne, suggests that certain instances of evil may be necessary for the achievement of a greater good that outweighs the suffering caused by the evil. This theodicy posits that God, in his infinite wisdom and knowledge, allows certain evils to occur because they ultimately lead to a greater good that could not be achieved without the existence of those evils. For example, the suffering caused by natural disasters may serve as a catalyst for human solidarity, technological progress, or the development of resilience and compassion. Proponents of the greater good theodicy argue that our limited human perspective prevents us from fully comprehending the intricate web of consequences and the greater goods that may justify the existence of particular evils. Process theodicy. The process theodicy, proposed by philosophers like Alfred North Whitehead and Charles Hartshorne, offers a unique perspective on the problem of evil by redefining the concept of divine omnipotence. In this view, God is not considered to be omnipotent in the classical sense of being able to unilaterally control and determine all events in the universe. Instead, God is seen as a persuasive force that works within the processes of the universe, influencing and guiding the world towards greater goodness, beauty, and harmony. According to process theodicy, God does not directly cause or permit evil. Rather, evil arises as a consequence of the inherent limitations and imperfections of a dynamic, evolving universe. God's role is to continually lure and persuade the universe towards greater complexity, order, and goodness, while respecting the inherent freedoms and potentialities of the natural processes. This theodicy suggests that evil is not a necessary part of God's plan, but rather a byproduct of the creative and evolutionary processes that ultimately lead to greater goods and the fulfillment of divine purposes. These various theodicies, while offering different perspectives and explanations for the existence of evil, share a common goal: to reconcile the apparent contradiction between the existence of an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good God and the undeniable presence of evil and suffering in the world. Criticisms of Theodicies. While Theodicies attempt to provide philosophical and theological justifications for the existence of evil, they have also faced significant criticisms and challenges from various perspectives. Logical criticisms. One of the primary criticisms leveled against Theodicies is related to their logical coherence and internal consistency. Critics argue that many Theodicies rely on assumptions, premises, or logical leaps that are themselves problematic or contentious. For instance, the free will defense has been criticized for its assumption that free will is a greater good that justifies the existence of evil, a premise that is not universally accepted. Additionally, some argue that the notion of an omnipotent God being unable to create a world with free will and without evil is itself a logical contradiction. Similarly, the soul-making theodicy has been challenged for its assertion that suffering is necessary for spiritual growth, a claim that is difficult to substantiate empirically and may face moral objections.
Moral criticisms.
Another significant criticism of theodicies revolves around their moral implications and the ethical justifications they provide for the existence of evil and suffering. Critics argue that many theodicies, in their attempt to justify or explain the existence of evil, inadvertently diminish the gravity and moral significance of the suffering experienced by individuals. The notion that suffering serves a greater good or contributes to a higher purpose may be seen as a trivialization of the lived experiences of those enduring immense pain and hardship. Furthermore, some argue that the very idea of justifying or rationalizing evil and suffering through philosophical or theological arguments is morally dubious, as it risks diminishing our empathy and compassion towards those afflicted by evil. Practical criticisms. In addition to logical and moral criticisms, Theodicies have also faced practical objections related to their application and relevance in the lived experience of suffering. Critics argue that the abstract philosophical and theological arguments advanced by Theodicies often fail to provide meaningful solace or guidance to individuals grappling with the harsh realities of evil and suffering in their personal lives. The complexities and nuances of Theodicies may be difficult to comprehend or apply in the midst of profound grief, trauma, or existential pain, rendering them inadequate in addressing the practical and emotional needs of those directly impacted by evil. These criticisms highlight the ongoing challenges and complexities surrounding the problem of evil and the various attempts to reconcile it with the existence of a benevolent, all-powerful deity. While Theodicies offer philosophical and theological frameworks, they have also prompted further questions, debates, and a deeper exploration of the moral, practical, and existential dimensions of this perplexing conundrum. Alternative views. While the problem of evil has been extensively debated within the context of theistic frameworks, alternative perspectives have also emerged, offering different approaches to understanding and grappling with the existence of suffering and moral depravity. Atheism and agnosticism. For some individuals, the presence of seemingly gratuitous evil and suffering in the world has led them to adopt atheistic or agnostic stances, rejecting the existence of a benevolent, all-powerful deity or expressing doubt about the existence of such a being. Proponents of atheism argue that the sheer magnitude and intensity of evil and suffering witnessed throughout history provides compelling evidence against the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God. They contend that the presence of gratuitous evil is more consistent with a universe governed by natural laws and processes, devoid of any divine intervention or oversight. Agnostics, on the other hand, adopt a more nuanced position, acknowledging the limitations of human knowledge and the inability to definitively prove or disprove the existence of God. They argue that the problem of evil, while challenging, does not necessarily rule out the possibility of a divine being, but rather highlights the inherent mysteries and unknowns surrounding the nature of existence and the ultimate causes of suffering and evil.
Non-theistic religions.
While the problem of evil is often framed within the context of theistic religions, non-theistic belief systems, such as Buddhism, offer alternative perspectives on the nature of suffering and its relationship to the human condition. In Buddhism, suffering dukkha is seen as an inherent part of existence, arising from our attachments, desires, and ignorance of the true nature of reality. The goal of Buddhist practice is to attain enlightenment and liberation from suffering by overcoming these attachments and developing wisdom and compassion. Rather than attributing suffering to the existence or non-existence of a deity, Buddhism focuses on the individual's role in perpetuating or transcending suffering through their thoughts, actions, and understanding of the impermanence of all phenomena. This non-theistic approach to grappling with suffering and evil provides a distinct philosophical framework, one that emphasizes personal responsibility, mindfulness, and the cultivation of inner peace and acceptance. Reformed epistemology. Another intriguing perspective on the problem of evil is offered by Reformed epistemology, a philosophical approach championed by thinkers like Alvin Plantinga and Nicholas Wolterstorff. Reformed epistemology argues that belief in God can be rational and properly basic, even in the face of the problem of evil and the apparent lack of evidence or proof for God's existence. According to this view, the belief in God is akin to other properly basic beliefs, such as the existence of the external world or the reliability of our cognitive faculties, which are held without the need for explicit evidence or arguments. Proponents of Reformed epistemology contend that the problem of evil, while challenging, does not necessarily undermine the rationality of belief in God. They argue that the existence of evil and suffering is not necessarily incompatible with the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent deity, as our limited human perspective prevents us from fully comprehending the divine purposes or the greater goods that may justify the presence of evil. This perspective shifts the focus away from attempting to provide a comprehensive theodicy or to conclusively prove the existence of God in the face of evil. Instead, it suggests that belief in God can be a properly basic, rational stance, even in the absence of definitive answers to the problem of evil. These alternative views, ranging from atheism and agnosticism to non-theistic religious perspectives and reformed epistemology, highlight the diversity of approaches to grappling with the problem of evil. While they may differ in their foundational assumptions and conclusions, they collectively underscore the profound complexity and multifaceted nature of this age-old conundrum. By considering these alternative perspectives, we are reminded of the limitations of our human understanding and the inherent mysteries that surround the nature of existence, suffering, and the potential role, if any, of a divine or transcendent reality. It is through this multifaceted exploration that we can deepen our appreciation for the richness and nuances of the problem of evil and its enduring impact on our philosophical, theological, and existential inquiries. Throughout this profound exploration, we have delved into the intricate philosophical and theological dimensions of the problem of evil, a conundrum that has captivated and perplexed humanity for centuries. We began by defining the problem of evil, distinguishing between moral evil and natural evil, and tracing its historical context within philosophical and religious discourse. We then examined the formidable logical problem of evil, which posits an apparent contradiction between the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent God and the undeniable presence of evil in the world. Furthermore, we explored the evidential problem of evil, which argues that the sheer magnitude and apparent gratuitousness of suffering in the world make the existence of a perfectly good and all-powerful God highly improbable. In an attempt to reconcile this paradox, we delved into various Theodicies, including the free will defense, the soul-making Theodicy, the greater good Theodicy, and the process Theodicy, each offering unique perspectives and explanations for the existence of evil. However, we also acknowledged the significant criticisms and challenges leveled against these Theodicies, including logical inconsistencies, moral objections, and practical limitations in addressing the lived experiences of suffering. Finally, we explored alternative views, such as atheism, agnosticism, non-theistic religious perspectives, and reformed epistemology, each offering distinct approaches to understanding and grappling with the problem of evil outside the framework of traditional theistic beliefs. As we conclude this contemplative journey, I invite you to reflect upon the profound weight and complexity of the problem of evil. This age-old conundrum strikes at the very core of our understanding of the divine, challenging our conceptions of omnipotence, omniscience, and omnibenevolence, while simultaneously forcing us to confront the harsh realities of pain, suffering, and moral depravity that pervade our existence. It is a problem that defies simple resolution, demanding that we navigate the intricate landscapes of philosophy, theology, and the depths of human experience. The various perspectives and arguments we have explored highlight the multifaceted nature of this enigma, reminding us of the inherent limitations of our understanding and the enduring mysteries that surround the nature of existence and the potential role of a divine or transcendent reality. Yet, it is through this very exploration, this willingness to grapple with the profound and the perplexing, that we ultimately deepen our appreciation for the richness of human inquiry and the boundless potential for growth and understanding. I encourage you, fellow cosmic explorers, to engage with this topic, to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comments below. For it is through discourse, through the exchange of ideas and the respectful consideration of diverse viewpoints, that we can collectively shed light on the complexities of the problem of evil. Like this video if you found it thought-provoking, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the depths of philosophy, spirituality, and the eternal questions that have captivated humanity since the dawn of consciousness. Thank you, fellow cosmic explorers, for joining me on this profound and emotionally charged journey into the heart of the problem of evil. As we navigate the vast expanse of the cosmos, it is these eternal questions, these perplexing conundrums, that remind us of the boundless depths of human inquiry and the enduring mysteries that lie at the intersection of philosophy, theology, and the lived experience of existence. If you found this exploration as captivating and thought-provoking as I did, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. For in the depths of the cosmos, there are countless realms of wonder and profundity yet to be explored, eternal questions waiting to be pondered, and profound insights waiting to be uncovered. Until next time, keep questioning, keep contemplating, and never lose sight of the profound magic that lies within the cosmos and within ourselves.